Hi there. I'm here with Andy, Steve, and George for our intensive academic English podcast at Robertson College. We're here to talk about newcomer experiences to Winnipeg. So take it away.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Andy. So, Josh, when did you arrive in Winnipeg?
Good morning, Andy. I arrived the October 24th. Was kind of before winter start, but isn't too warm either. But was cool. Was very cool. What about you, Steve?
I'm very great with George because I arrived to Winnipeg in October 5. So in that time, the Winnipeg is really beautiful and not so hard. So the weather is wonderful. And where did you live before in Winnipeg, Andy?
Before I arrived in Winnipeg, I lived in a very beautiful city nearby the sea called Jorge in southern China. A city is nearby Macau. Yeah.
Oh.
So, Josh, you?
I was living in Colombia, in the capital, Bogota. Is just in the middle of the country, between the Andes mountains, and that's why that makes that rains a lot. We don't have seasons like northern countries, but we have too many rains in a single day, and you can have sunshine days with a very warm weather too in the same day. So when you are going out in Bogota specifically, you have to wear your jacket, you have to bring your sunglasses, and you have to bring your umbrella also, because you never know what's gonna happen.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Yes. Would you mind, because I'm very crazy about coffee. Yes. So I know that the coffee in your country is very famous, right?
You're right. Yeah, we have a lot of so different kind of coffee. I guess if you drive out from Bogota around 6-7 hours, you're gonna be on the Coffee X.
Yeah.
So there is the main area the coffee has been cultivated. So we have a lot of different kind of coffee, but unfortunately we sold all the good coffee to foreigner countries.
Oh.
So we have to kind of buy our own coffee to taste the good things. But that is with the biggest companies, but we have small farmers who cultivate their own coffee, and it's more a handy thing. So it's not like factories. It's a little bit expensive than the regular one, but it's the good quality, and the good thing is that that coffee doesn't have enough chemicals on it.
Wow, very attractive. I hope that one day I can go to visit these kind of farmers.
Yeah, for sure.
Will be very interesting.
Yeah, you're gonna have a good time. What about you, Andy? Where did you live before coming to Winnipeg?
I lived in Shenzhen, where is nearby Hong Kong.
Sorry to interrupt you. I heard that Shenzhen is like the technology capital of China. Am I right?
Yeah. In my opinion, actually, I think Shenzhen is the biggest electronic market in Asia.
Okay, is like the Asia Silicon Valley.
Yes, kind of.
In addition, sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, go ahead.
In addition, those famous IT companies like Lenovo, Huawei, Tencent, and DJI.
Okay.
Yeah, all come from Shenzhen,
Yeah.
and their headquarters are located
there.
in
Yeah,
Shenzhen.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So continue. Sorry about that.
It's actually, I think that's a really beautiful city, and the weather is wonderful. But I don't like that because it is near beside the sea, and the weather is super not very dirty, and it's made me uncomfortable.
Sorry,
Okay.
Steve, I'm not agree with you. Because after my graduation, my first destination was Shenzhen, and I worked there for over 10 years. And I love that city very much because that is a young city with endless, vigorous. The people there are very are full of power, and is partial with passion to do everything. And that in that city, your dream can come true.
Okay.
Yeah, if my memory serves me correctly, I heard about the average age in Shenzhen is 30 or 35.
Oh,
I guess.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, very young people
Yeah.
there. So, what is the one thing about Canadian culture that surprised you, Andy?
Personally, I think is tips. To me, it's very annoying.
Okay,
in
how
China,
come?
in China, actually, we only give tips when we stay in a hotel, and actually the other, since everything is included inside the price. But here, everything you need to pay. But frankly speaking, to give tips, I can accept that. But give tips, the original purpose, I think, is to encourage people to provide the best quality service.
Yeah.
But now today, I feel a little bit weird. No matter the quality of the services, you have to pay. It becomes compulsory. So I cannot accept this point.
I have to be a little bit disagree with you because, yeah, I know I'm agree with you in the point that it's annoying to everything has extra cost and you never know how much you're gonna spend. So you have to bring too much money extra to be able to pay because you could be in the situation that I don't have enough money to pay, so that is gonna be awkward. But I'm disagree with you in the point that if you don't have a good time, a good experience, and even if you don't have a good service, you are in your right to don't give them any extra tip because you don't receive the good service that you was expected.
Steve, how about you? What do you think of it?
I think actually I agreed with you, but I'm confused about sometimes people give the tips not to the service. Sometimes we give the tips to the boss or someone, and the other things is why the customer need to pay the tips, need to pay the tax for the tips. Yeah, it's really strange.
Yeah. Actually, I think those big companies, they try to keep them from the responsibilities that should burden. They just transcend these responsibilities to the public.
Yeah, I just, for example, I don't know if I'm doing right or not, but I don't give a tip in a Burger King or a McDonald's. That is their job.
Yeah.
So you know. But when I in a, I don't know, a smaller restaurant or something like that, that is a waitress coming to my table and serving me the food and asking me if everything is all right and that kind of thing, I guess it's more is more good to give them tips, you know. And I guess the most people probably give tips is because they don't gonna be judged or they don't gonna be awkward or seeing with, oh, that guy don't give a tip, so, you know. So I guess it's kind of that kind of things. For me in particular is the most of the unknown people are able to help you in whatever situation.
Yeah.
So that is different in if I compare it with Colombia, because there you can find people can help you also, but it's not too often. You always was thinking that all the people who tell you that want to help you, I mean, when you are on the street in, I don't know, you were stuck in your car or whatever, that kind of situation, all the people who offer their help is because they're gonna take something from you, you know. Here is just because they want to help you, really. So that for me is that the big difference.
Friendly Manitoba.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, you're right.
You're right.
And for me, the most shocks me things is the government has gone so far as to provide the drugs to the addicts.
Homeless.
Yeah,
What
like
you want
that.
to try to say?
Yeah.
Addict.
Yeah, addict. But right now I can understand about that, because if like you don't provide the place and the drugs to the homeless, they also need to use the drug, but maybe they need to use those drugs in the public place. Yeah, and if they can't got those drugs, they will use some like violence to get those things. So whatever the homeless or the druggers need to the drugs. So
Yeah.
I have
But-
the same feeling with you, yes, because the government try to make everything under control, to at least to keep them alive, to keep them have a dignity life.
I guess, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I guess one of the biggest thing that push the government help them there is the weather, because cold doesn't help to the people live on the streets.
So, Steve, tell me about your journey about learning English language since you are so good.
Okay, so in my country, we're learning English from primary school. Yeah, but my English is terrible because I think in China English is maybe useless, but I'm very regret right now, because I need to. The English is really matter in Canada. Yeah. So, what about you?
Sure, because we need to wrap up everything. I just learned English in the primary school, but unfortunately in Colombia, it's not about the quantity. We don't have enough quality, so you learn English, but it's not the proper way.
Uh-huh.
So now you can find enough school that you can get a good education based on English, but they are so expensive, more than the university.
Okay.
So that is crazy. But I learned a little bit in the primary school. Then in the college, I learned a little bit more. And then by myself, watching movies, taking notes about some words, pay attention, and I guess it's something inside me that it likes English.
Okay.
So I guess that is the last question. That was all for today. We hope to get another encounter after this.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry to
没了。
Do you want to say something?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Because I know some friend who come from the South Africa, and they also speak Spanish. So they tell me the Spanish is some kind of same with English, like grammar or something. And
No, they are two different because Spanish is I guess it's called Romance language.
Uh-huh.
So we are more similarities with Italian, French, maybe Portuguese, but
Uh-huh.
because the structures and the way the verb, the subject, and everything is are on the sentence is almost kind of the same. The English with the English, there are in Spanish they are so different. So it's not anything in common.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. So
How about
nice
you?
to talk about with you guys.
You have time for one more question because you're a bigger group.
Okay.
So would you like to discuss the
Yeah.
last one?
Andy, go ahead.
How about you, Andy? What's your story about learning English?
Actually, because we all come from China, so we have the same situation.
Okay.
We start to learn English since grade 5. Yeah, since grade 5, and I because my major in college was English education. I supposed to be a teacher to teach English language.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And after my graduation, as I mentioned before, I went to Shenzhen, and all my job was in foreign invest companies. So the English use is a daily routine, and I never put down my English. So that's why today I can speak a little bit fluently English. But it's very weird because I worked for a French company, so I speak French style English.
Okay.
And I work for Italian company, and I speak Italian style English. And I worked for American company, and I speak idiomatic American English.
Oh,
so
at least.
my English is a little bit, complicated.
Yeah.
So now in Canada, through the language course, I think more or less I can get back to a normal English language expression, the idiomatic English.
So
Right.
if you allow me, I have another more question. What is a language skill that you want to work on?
I think to me is communication skills to need to reinforce, because I think this is very important, no matter in your career or in your daily life. Make people understand each other is very, very important.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
What about you, Steve?
For me, I think the speaking and listening is very important, and it also is my weakness.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm still trying to promote my English skill. But I don't know, because of I living in the English situation, or I can't feel I'm in the proving. Yeah, so I'm not sure.
Don't keep low profile.
Go out more often.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be confident.
Yeah. For me, is I guess I need to work more on grammar, because sometimes it's like confusing me, tricky for me. But I guess it's more than use more daily. The daily day. So that was everything for today.
Yes.
So-
Nice
Yeah.
to chat with you guys.
Nice
Yeah, I'm
to
glad to
talk.
Yeah.
talk with you.
Thanks for the great conversation.
Okay.